Every producer has that breakthrough moment, one that shifts their process and takes their music to the next level. For me, that moment came when I started using reference tracks. This single tip was a game changer for me. It not only enabled me to finish tracks and build the confidence to send them out to labels, but it also landed me my first release with Pogo House Records. So today I want to break down how exactly I used a reference track in my music production and why it might be the key for you as well. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany Quinn. I'm a DJ, producer and radio host, and I'm looking to build a community on here and help aspiring creatives by sharing my journey as well as tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Today I'm going to be sharing 3 ways that I have found using reference tracks to help my music production. I will walk you through a practical example using one of my own tracks as well. So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, but for now, let's get into it. A lot of new producers get stuck staring at a blank project, unsure where to start. Believe me, I have been there. But using a reference track essentially gives you a roadmap and allows you to focus your efforts. There are 3 ways in particular I have found this to help. The first is with structure. There's a bit of a formula for making successful tracks. So by using a reference track, you can clearly and quickly identify the key sections and even map them out visually using locators in your DAW. So for example, marking out clearly where the intro starts, the drums come in, the bass comes in, the breakdowns happen, the build-ups and the drops happen, and the outro, etc. This enables you to cut out all the guesswork and essentially focus your time on finding and creating the sounds to make your track unique. The second thing is for sound design and sound elements. By dissecting a track, you can more easily recognize different key elements as they come in. So you can look at, for example, the drums and pick out the key components of them, or identify the groove of the bass line, the vocals or strings, chords, etc. Following on from this is how it helps you with active listening. You're essentially training your ears to listen more critically. So in addition to identifying specific sounds in a track, you'll also start to notice and identify exactly how they're being layered, how different effects are being incorporated, and ultimately how everything's been mixed together to give it that professional sound. So let's take a look at a practical example. I knew I wanted to make a fun, deep house track with elements of garage in there. Around the time that I decided to delve into this project, I was listening to Wanna See You by Ableton a lot. It is such a banger, and I love the groove, I love the energy, I love the way he's used chords and stabs, and I instantly knew that was kind of the direction that I wanted to go for, so I decided to use that as my reference track. So let me show you exactly what I did. Okay, so I've opened up Ableton. As you can see, I've got my project in here, but I've also dropped in my reference track, Ableton Wanna See You. I put it in the top. I might just find it easier to see everything that way. And straight away you can see that I have already mapped out the structure of the track using locators. So let's just give this a quick listen and you'll see what I mean. So we've got the intro. Nice, we've got the drums come in here. Got the chords coming in on a filter. Getting gradually louder. Love the rhythm of them. Got a nice breakdown here. Hopefully you can hear, you've got like sound effects, ear candy in the background. Got some nice effects on the chords. Coming to build up to the drop. What a banger. So you can hear the bass came in there. You've got a second breakdown here. It's quite long actually. We're starting to kind of, happens over quite a few bars. You can hear the perks in the background, starting to build it up again. Second drop. And then we've just got an outro. So a very simple structure going on here. Just to show you, if you don't already know, to add a locator, you simply hover at the top when you see this speaker icon, right click, add locator, and you can just type in anything you want. So yeah, you can put breakdown here or whatever. So you can do that. So let's look at the drums again, and we'll just kind of have a listen to how they sound. So you can hear it's very simple. So if we go down to my project and isolate the drums as well, very simple 4x4 beat. Got hats, got claps. If we go over here, you can hear I've added in some tops. So again, you could already hear there that I started bringing in. So if we go back to the reference as well, it starts bringing in the chords. Started bringing in the chords. I decided to bring in my chords and my bass together. So if I just get that up. So again, what's nice about this track is the groove of the chords. That's kind of what drew me to it. So if we just listen again. And if we listen to my melody, I found this sample that I kind of chopped up a little bit. So that is what I did there, was add a little bit of erosion to that and a bit of EQ, but nothing like crazy. But then what I decided to do was layer it with, layer it again, but pop this second sample an octave higher. So if you listen to it on its own, listen to them together. And they've got a bit of delay and some like mild processing on them as well. The bass is doing a very similar, it's kind of like following like a similar pattern. It's easier to get a feel for the groove when you hear that in conjunction with the drums. It's probably going to need headphones to be able to hear that clearly, but when I play it all together, so I just muted the the vocals there just while we were listening to that. So it's very simple, to be honest with you. When we come to the breakdowns, again, I found some really nice strings. So let's listen to those. Add a little bit of movement. We've also got some ear candy down here. So we've got, if I just listen to the ear candy all together, we've got like a nice, ooh, it's delicious. What we've got here, a little sweep. We've got some, this is for the drop. We've also got some white noise, barely audible, but just nice to throw in. We've got some bubbles. Oh, I just love it. So all together you can hear that from, let's go from here. And with everything. That's that. When it comes to the vocals, I wanted to include my own vocals just to give it a bit more, you know, make it a bit more original. So we have this vocal stab that I've got. Oh, sorry, I'm not doing this very well. Vocal stab. So this happens like pretty much throughout the whole track. So with everything together, which I love. That's not me, but I love kind of just the bit of texture that it gives. Then I recorded Ain't Got No Clue, which sounds like this. Oh, sounds like
Ain't
this.
got no clue.
So that's me. So if we listen to that.
Ain't got no clue.
And then what I did was I just took this and chopped it up because I really wanted to tap into that kind of garagey influence. So I've kind of included a lot more skippier percussion, I'd say, maybe, than Lempton used in his track. His is a lot more, I guess, just deep house, whereas I was kind of going for a deep garagey house vibe. So I've also chopped up the vocals, so it sounds like this.
Ain't got no clue. Ain't got no clue.
So all together, that sounds like.
Got no clue. Ain't 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 got no clue.
So just adds a bit of like rhythm to it, a bit of a groove. And essentially, as you can see, looking at, if I just zoom out again, you'll notice that I didn't completely copy the structure. So again, a point that I want to bring home is we're not trying to copy a track 100%. We're just using it as a guide so that we can kind of just more efficiently get a track laid out and then play around with it and make sure it's to your liking. Essentially, it is all subjective, but I think having a rough framework helps. So with this track, like I say, you can see it's a very simple structure, and I have pretty much followed it, but I have maybe like changed the duration of some of those sections. So my track still has like a nice intro, like I say, the chords kind of come in a similar way, but they come in with the bass. I introduce a breakdown at roughly the same time, but instead of it going over 16 bars, mine is only over 8, and then we kind of have the drop come back in for the second breakdown as well. I mean, I've put it from here because that is kind of where my breakdown starts, but the breakdown in Lempton's track probably starts here. So you can see that it's not exactly the same, but that's a good thing. Essentially, what I was trying to do was recreate the same vibe, but still make sure that it's 100% me, which I think has been achieved with this project. So that is pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can show you. Yeah, it's really then in terms of like sound design and that kind of thing, was listening again to the reference.
I wanna see you. See you. I wanna.
So what's interesting is it's quite a clean, and by no means this is not a criticism. I love how simple and minimalist it is. There's not like any crazy effects or anything going on with like building up to the drop. It happens quite seamlessly. It's quite smooth. I wanted to kind of add a few elements in mine again, just to make it sound slightly different. So if I bring this back down, you'll see here, I add in, so we've got the breakdown. I start reintroducing different elements.
Ain't got no clue. Ain't got no clue.
So you'll see there, I kind of added in these crashes alongside a little fill here. And just to give it a bit of something, that's just, I wanted to do that. That's how I like doing drops. I do that in quite a few of my tracks. But it's no right or wrong way. It's just essentially how you want to do it. I just thought I would probably should probably mention that. So yeah, that's pretty much the track. I managed to finish this super, super quick. Like within a couple of days, I had the idea down. And the song was made pretty much, and then it was just kind of finessing it and getting it to a point where it was ready to send to a label, and there was nothing else that I felt it needed to send out, basically, to finish it. I was going for a very similar vibe to Lempton, so I don't really feel like I needed to add too much. I think the sounds that I picked kind of all complement each other. It was quite a simple, minimalist kind of style of track. It's more about the momentum for me of the bass and the chord stabs that really kind of made it. So I feel like that's what we achieved with this. Now, I've got a lot of unfinished music sitting on my laptop, as I'm sure most producers do. But this was really the first track that I finished and felt confident enough to send it out. I had a couple of labels in mind, but my first choice was Pogo House Records. They're an underground house and garage label that I have been listening to and including their tracks in my set since I started DJing. So when Martin got back to me saying how much he loved the track and that he wanted to sign it to Pogo, I was over the moon. I also sent the track to Lempton, who loves it and has played it out a couple of times, and even sent me a clip of him playing it on the radio. No Clue is officially dropping on Pogo House Records on the 7th of March. That is just under 2 weeks away, and I'm so excited that I've actually got even more special news for you. I have just launched a Patreon account, and I'm giving the first 50 subscribers an early copy of No Clue before it's available to download anywhere else. By joining, you'll also get access to exclusive downloadable mixes, early access to all my content and music, as well as behind the scenes content, whether that be extra tips and tricks, track lists from my mixes and sets, studio clips, plus more. Essentially, I want to hear from you. If you've got any ideas for other perks that you want me to include, please let me know. If you liked the video and found it helpful, I'd also love you to like and subscribe. And please let me know if you want me to dive into anything else production related in subsequent videos. But until then, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.